In our politics lead today, former President Trump is not only fully embracing the insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, he is further attempting to demonize the law enforcement officials who protected the Capitol and lawmakers on that day. Trump, who never had any issue with Secret Service taking extreme measures to protect him during his presidency, is now falsely suggesting a conspiracy surrounding the death of one of those insurrectionists, Ashley Babbitt.
Who shot Ashley Babbitt? Why are they keeping that secret? Who was the person that shot an innocent, wonderful, incredible woman?
Ashley Babbitt was killed by a Capitol police officer after she, among others, tried to squeeze through a smashed window of a barricaded door that would have put her within feet of lawmakers who were hiding from the violent mob. The Justice Department cleared the officer of any wrongdoing, but as CNN's Tom Foreman reports, none of that apparently matters to the former president.
Who shot Ashley Babbitt? Who? Who shot Ashley Babbitt?
In speeches, online, even on T-shirts, the effort to turn Ashley Babbitt into a martyr is steaming ahead, with pushers of the big lie of a stolen election demanding to know who shot her and why.
Boom, right through the head. Just boom. There was no reason for that.
They get this part correct. Babbitt, a 35-year-old Air Force veteran, was unarmed and killed during the Capitol insurrection by a police officer whose identity has been kept quiet.
In America in 2021 under Joe Biden, you can just kill people, unarmed women, and you don't have to admit who did it.
But beyond that, exaggeration and speculation are running wild.
I've heard also that it was the head of security for a certain high official, a Democrat.
Not true, officials say, but the outrage rolls on.
If this country can demand justice for someone like George Floyd, then we can certainly demand justice for Ashley Babbitt.
The facts? Investigators say Babbitt joined the mob at the Capitol expressing fervent belief in President Trump's lies about election fraud. She was in a group trying to smash into the Speaker's lobby outside the House chamber and was climbing through a broken window close to where members of Congress were hiding. When she was shot in the shoulder, not the head, as Trump claims, by a Capitol Police lieutenant. The Justice Department watched videos, talked to witnesses, and found insufficient evidence to support a criminal prosecution against that officer. Still,
somebody up in D.C. knows. I think a lot of people know, but nobody's telling us. And the silence is deafening.
That did not stop her widower from filing a lawsuit, nor the steady drumbeat for more information.
I think one of the reasons why they're hiding his identity is they don't have a good explanation for this shooting.
Authorities say facing the violent mob, which at that point included Ashley Babbitt right in front of them, the officer had reason to believe he was firing in self-defense or the defense of others. And political analysts say the motivation for this conservative uproar over Babbitt is equally clear: to draw attention away from Donald Trump and other Republicans as investigations get underway into the cause of this riot. Jake?
All right, Tom, thanks so much. Let's discuss with my panel. Stephanie, let me start with you. Babbitt was not the only Trump supporter who died during the riot or insurrection. Roseanne Boyland also died. She was trampled by the mob. Not killed by a Capitol police officer. So presumably that's why she's not getting the same attention from Donald Trump. There are some others as well who had health effects or whatever during this incident. Why do you think Trump is focusing so much on the death of Ashley Babbitt?
He is a TV superstar, and he knows what sells. And who shot Ashley Babbitt is just like who shot JR. He knows it's catchy, and it's going to be something that people glom onto. Unfortunately, people who, I feel like we're reliving a George Orwell novel, that are willing to rewrite history that we saw with our own eyes. And it's something that, again, it's catchy, and they'll hold on to it.
One of the things that we see in this town, and it's regrettable, but when people do violent things and go places where they're not supposed to be, such as bursting into the Capitol or jumping onto the White House grounds, they get shot, they get killed. Maybe there should be some sort of national conversation about use of force. I mean, I think there are a lot of people in the African-American community who've been trying to do that for centuries. But that's not really what's going on here, is it?
Well, I think President Trump, or former President Trump, understands that the incident on January 6th for a moment really shook his standing in the Republican Party, but that over time, a lot of Republicans have sort of tried to put this in the rearview mirror. They've tried to forget about it. And by sort of bringing this back up, I think what he's trying to do is sort of force Republicans into an uncomfortable position where they're either with him or they're against him. I think he knows that something like talking about Ashley Babbitt is going to draw in a lot of attention. It's going to personalize or humanize his side of the story. And I think that's why he wants to keep bringing this up, even though it's been so long since January 6th. I think that's why you've seen this change in the way he's talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, he just started talking about this. But meanwhile, the lie about the insurrection continues, and when he tries to make Republicans choose, and I don't doubt that we're going to start hearing Republican members of Congress and Senate start taking on this cause as well, he's also asking people to embrace this alternate reality that we know is not the case. Take a listen to him talking about January 6th.
There was such love at that rally. You had over 1 million people there. They were there for one reason, the rigged election. They felt the election was rigged. That's why they were there. And they were peaceful people. These were great people.
Now, the rally is different from what happened at the Capitol, obviously, and most of the people who were there were at the rally did not go to the Capitol. But what happened at the Capitol was violent. What people did in the Capitol was violent. You see these images. These are not peaceful people, the ones I'm showing right now. Nobody begrudges of the rally itself. When you see President Trump, former President Trump, continue to win straw polls like at CPAC, what goes through your mind?
To me, it just is a wake-up call for Democrats, because it's clear to me that the Republicans are going to, they are ride or die for Trump. And, we have Democrats that are willing to, cancel someone if they, screw up someone's pronoun. We have to figure out what we're going to do in this midterm election, and we have to be serious about aligning ourselves with candidates, getting on board, getting everyone on board, because the Republicans are all in for Trump.